I will start on my desktop by opening my VirtualBox. And remember, I have two installations here, AlmaLinux and Ubuntu server. I'm going with AlmaLinux. And I'll just, okay, so the system is up. So I'm going to use my account. And then I'm going to input my password. Okay, fine. So I'm in AlmaLinux. I'm going to go directly to the terminal. Our goal here is to create 3 users, Lionel, Maggie, and Katelyn. So I'll just get right with it. So let me start by creating the first user, Lionel. So I'm going to do Sudo user add. Lionel. Let us find out. I'm going to add. It's just trying to specify the home directory for Lionel, in this case, /leave. I think that works for me. And get to it. Okay, it says I'm not part of the root user, so I'm going to elevate my privileges and then I try again. So not sudo, but let's use root just to elevate my privileges and then try again. Okay, so now I am at, I've just logged in as root, so I'm going to try that again. Add Lionel to the system, so let me give the directory /u user Lionel. So let us see. Okay, so that has been created. Lionel has been created. So I'll just go ahead and create the rest. So just take the arrow up button and then to go with Maggie. So to say map. So that's the home directory, and of course, Maggie as a user. And then the last person, the last user that I want to create is Katelyn. So we have a button again, arrow up, and then Kate. That is Kate. Again. Okay, so fine. So those 3 users have been added. So I'll just go ahead and then give them individual passwords just to make the whole process easy. I'm going to just use the same password for all 3 users so that the process should be easy and it will be easier for us to remember the passwords when the need arise. So in this case, let us go with the password. So sudo pass. Let us start now. And changing password for Lionel, I'm going to just stick with the easy password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, it's not a good password, but I'll keep on typing that. So 6. So that has been created. The same procedure for Maggie. So 6. So that's. And then lastly, the same process for Katelyn. 6. Okay, so fine. Those 3 users have been created with their individual passwords. So I'm just going to clear the screen so that people will get all the exercise. So here I have three users and I'm going to attribute them different levels of privileges depending on what they have to do. It's very important because in this case, we do not want users to have privileges more than what they need. So um, for now, we're going to leave it at that and then come back later and we begin to attribute those privileges that I want these users to have using the sudo file. So that is it. Let's get to it next. So I'm going to clear the the terminal, and then we're going to get to it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open our sudo file. To do that efficiently, we're going to use sudo, visudo, of course. Okay, that is the file. I'm using the V editor, so I'm going to go through the file. I'm going to add the privileges based on the map that we have. Okay, so the first thing that we are asked to do is to find the storage command and of course remove the common symbols from it. So we are going to go through that. Now this is this editor is V, so in order to edit anything there, we're going to type down the key I to initialize editing. So we are going to go through it and we are going to look for the storage command. So just go there gradually. That is services. Okay, so here we are. That is the storage command. This is it. So I think that right here is the storage command. And so I'm just going to the symbol in front of it so that it becomes active. So now, fine, the storage command now is active. I think that's the very first thing that we have to do. And then at the bottom, we are going to just attribute some privileges depending on which user you choose. So I'll go right down to the bottom there. So it's a whole lot of code. So I'll go right down to the bottom there. So at the bottom, I'm going to give you all the privileges. That means I'm attributing to Lionel the privileges of a sudo. So Lionel all, all success, and of course all. So Lionel has that privilege. And then what about Maggie? Oh, sorry, Katelyn. Katelyn, all machines should be able to execute the following. Yeah, that is I want Katelyn to be able to execute this command only. So you have slash user slash bin slash system ctl status hd. So that's a command that Katelyn should be able to execute only. And then we go down to Maggie. So Maggie should be able to execute on all machines the following command. So everything, all the commands that are found in storage above, Maggie should be able to execute that. So I'm going to storage. That storage has already been defined above. So I'll go with storage there. So that is fine. So I've just listed the various commands that these three users can execute. Lionel can do everything on all the machines, executing all the commands. Katelyn on all machines can only check on the server status, and of course, Maggie on all the machines can execute all the commands listed in the storage, which is above. And if that is fine, I'm going to use escape to escape editing, and then I go on to save my work. So here to save. Okay, so that's fine. Now all these users have their various privileges as far as sudo is concerned. So we're not giving them all the sudo privileges. We're just giving them exactly what they need to execute their command. So that's fine. So in the next set, we'll just have to test to see whether everything that we've put in place is actually being executed accordingly. So in the next phase, we're going to try that. Okay, so let us get into, let's take one of the users one at a time and see what can be done. So I will start by logging in as Lionel, and then we can execute some commands. Remember, Lionel can do everything. So Lionel has the full privilege of the sudo. So we say, let's see, Lionel. Just trying to log in as Lionel now. And I'll be given the password we choose. So okay, so that's fine. We are logged in as Lionel in this case. And let us try, for instance, to perform some commands in this case. So as I said, we are going to be executing some commands with Lionel. Let us take the first command meant for Katelyn, which has to do with checking the status of Apache. So in this case, we're just going to say sudo and system ctl status sht. And that command was meant for Maggie, for Katelyn, but since Lionel has the full privilege of super user, so if we are going to execute that, it should work. And there we are, it works. So we move on. We check also the privilege that was meant for Maggie, which had to do with storage. Excuse me. So I'm going to do sudo, and then -l. That command was meant for Maggie, but since Lionel is a super user, he too should be able to execute that command. So we are going to, and there we are, and everything works as expected. So now we are going to from this moment, we are going to exit the user Lionel and then log in as the next user Katelyn. I'm going to verify the same things again to see what Katelyn can do. So Lionel exit. So right here, we've exited as Lionel, and then we are going to log in as Katelyn. So the Katelyn, putting in a password. Sorry, we are not in as Katelyn. Why? Because we had root access. We are logging in. And so we logged in as Katelyn, and right now we are going to be performing some tests. Again, let us start with checking the Apache status. Again, system. Sorry. System. Status. And this SFT. Okay, that's for the password. Okay, so you see it works, but what about checking the storage now? That privilege was meant for Maggie and not for Katelyn, so let's find out. So Control C, sudo, so let us see what happened. So, sorry, user Katelyn is not allowed to execute this command, which is expected because Katelyn does not have that privilege. That privilege goes to Maggie and Lionel, who is a super user in this case. So, we'll exit that again. Then, again, we're going to log in as Maggie. So, let's see. And of course, we are logging as Maggie. It's not requiring a password because I have root access as I'm logging in. So, again, we're going to repeat the same things again and see what we get. So let us pretend that Maggie has the privilege of Katelyn, and let us see what we get. So sudo status sft. Okay, what do we get here? We trust you have received an unusual lecture on that. So the password for Maggie, 6. Of course, Maggie does not have that privilege. Okay, what about the privilege of checking the storage? Because we know that Maggie has that privilege. Let us find out again. So this -l again, we are required to put the password of Maggie. And fine, you see that Maggie can execute that command because Maggie from the sudo file has a privilege. So I'm going to exit again. So I'm going to exit again. Exit. And then I think come out from the privilege. Exit. So right now, I think this lab is done. So we can see that having three users, you can attribute to them various privilege just for what they need. So we're not going to be giving privileges to users what they do not need. Just give them just the user privilege so that they can become their task. Okay, so that's fine. I think that is that for this lab. Thank you for watching.